get back into Zoom. Get back into Zoom. Right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the NJA webinar with Fighting Online Antisemitism. I'd like to introduce Tomer Aldubi, the joint founders of Fighting Online Antisemitism. I had the privilege to hear Tomer at an anti-Semitism conference in London last autumn about fighting online anti-Semitism. It's a global problem. It doesn't respect borders. Tomer's developed a unique project using unique technology and AI and has an army of volunteers to tackle the issue. Another key element is that whereas in the UK, moderators do not understand anti-Semitism, moderators in Israel do understand it. When FOA complain in Israel to Google Israel that there's a problem, it's real. It's that if they don't deal with it, it's Google's franchise in Israel, which is at risk. So it's very powerful for getting items taken down. It has a very high success rate. And I think that's enough for me. And over to Tomer Aldubi.
Great.
I want to start the slideshow.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, great. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. A quick story about how I met Tomer. And during 2020, Tomer came to my office and he said, I'm also a lawyer in my day job. And he told me, Nir, I need an assistance. I'd like to open an NGO, non-profit NGO in Israel that is struggling and fighting online anti-Semitism. So I told him, Tomer, do we have anti-Semitism in 2020? I mean, it sounds like something old, you know, like Holocaust style events. Now in modern day, like 2020, do we really have online anti-Semitism? So he told me, you have no idea how much anti-Semitism we have. You have no idea. He showed me the stuff. I was amazed. So I told him, Tomer, first thing, I'm going to do it for free. You will not pay a shekel. The second thing, in order to open an NGO in Israel that also has tax deductible, section 46, if you know, you will need to have 7 founders. So if you agree,
someone said, can you sit down and have a laptop? They can hardly hear you.
Yeah.
So if you actually sit down.
Yes, I will. So take my place. No, sit over there. Yes.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah. Right, Sharon.
Yeah. The audience here will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon. So I told Tomer, it's going to be for free. I'm going to open the NGO for you for free, and you would need to have 7 founders. So if you are okay with that, I would be your second founder, and let me help you. And ever since 3 years and few months already, we have established FOA, Fighting Online Antisemitism. So this is how I met Tomer, and this is how I have approached this field. I'd like to thank for NJA and Lawrence and Lynn for their very lovely support and they are hosting us here. Questions. Lawrence will manage, right? Lawrence, you will manage the Q&A?
Yeah, I think we do the Q&A at the end.
At the end, all right. Although, Lawrence, if someone has really important questions, maybe it's okay, they will ask. Yeah. So, and I hope everyone can see their presentation. So what we do, I'll do it briefly. We are a volunteer NGO. We have approximately at the moment about 50 volunteers worldwide, mostly in Israel, but not only in Israel. We recruit and train volunteers. We have already managed to have more than 400 volunteers worldwide, mostly students and teenagers. We currently have about 50 volunteers. We monitor content on the social platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, etc. We raise anti-Semitism. We got certification as trusted flaggers by most of the social platforms. So when our volunteers identify themselves as FOA's volunteer, they get priority. So our reports get priority. We find anti-Semitism content online. we erase it. We also take evidence. Most of this anti-Semitism is illegal in several countries, including most European, most EU countries. So we keep those evidence and we handle it to law enforcement at the moment in Germany, but we wish to expand for more countries. We develop new and unique IT and AI monitoring tools to have easier life for our volunteers and to increase the capacity of what we can find, scan, and report. And education, we educate those teenagers and students. It's not only teenagers and students, but these are the 60%, these are the big portion of our volunteers. So it's either how to stand up, how to defend yourself in your community, and how to erase anti-Semitism. We managed to, our first two donors, two backers, were Google and Twitter. They gave us a donation. They told us in advance it's for 2 years. It's a 2-year donation, and that's it. You will be on your own after 2 years. And we're very privileged and very appreciate their donation. In those 2 years, we managed to operate and build this NGO. We are in contact and with cooperation with various NGOs. One of them is the INACH, INACH, which is the Global Anti-Semitism organization. Well, first, why do we scan social platforms? So, according to all the surveys, the social platforms are today's marketplace. So, if once upon a time, let's say 20 years ago or 10 years ago, people were in the television, in the radio, in the newspapers, now most of the people are online in the social platforms. We know that the impact of electronic media over violence is significant. Oh, great. And thank you, Lawrence. And we have a guest that is entering. Yeah, he will be here shortly. Sorry. I thought being late is only in Israel.
But we can continue.
Yeah, so impact of electronic media on violence. There are various researchers. This is only one research that shows the connection between watching violent content online and acting violently outside, like in the real world. And okay, and spiral of silence. Very quickly, there is a theory, a main theory in mass media studies that says that spiral of silence. Most people wants to be in the mainstream, and you have extreme opinions in both sides, right and left. And if you have an extreme comment, and it remains there, and people speak about it, gradually it will be norm. It will be in the mainstream. And I think we all know what is happening when being anti-Semites and harming the Jews becomes mainstream. One example is the Pittsburgh shooting in the USA in 2018. Hi, hello, please join us. In Pittsburgh, 2018, a 36 years old man called out, "All Jews must die." He published it on a US social platform, and then he took a rifle and had the Pittsburgh massacre in the synagogue. So, and it is still when it is considered as an extreme act. Imagine what will happen if it will be the norm. So, warning now, you will see some of disturbing content, anti-Semitic content that we have found on the social platforms in 2022. So it's all new, 2022. Some are from 2021. Of course, the Jews, we control the world, and we control the USA presidents. We are in charge of the 9/11. It's a Jewish conspiracy, and also white privilege is a myth. The true privilege are us, the Jews, which is really nice to know that. We see people are calling to kill the Jews in the social platforms. Jews are, and we have been witnessed for two peaks in anti-Semitism in the social platforms during the pandemic and then during the Ukrainian crisis. I will shortly show you this. So about the COVID, Albert Bourla, the Jewish Greek NGO of Pfizer, the medical company that had the vaccines, he's Jewish. So it's a Jewish virus. We are blamed. It's not a Chinese virus. We are it's conspiracy to kill all people that are not Jewish. Of course, for them, there hasn't been any Jew that has been killed or perished by the COVID, of course, which is of course nonsense. Here you can see our report by the volunteers. So in 2021, when we managed to find and report 3,354 times on a different post on different platforms that we monitor. I told you that we monitor Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, etc. in about 8 languages. Depends on the students and the volunteers that we had in a specific moment. So we have people from Brazil, so they do it on the Portuguese. We have volunteers from Poland, so we have it also on Polish, on Russian, of course, French, German, Hebrew, Arabic. 2022, we see a significant increase in the comments that we managed to find and report, almost 200% increase. This is during the Ukrainian-Russian crisis. By the way, Lawrence, do they see it with the Zoom bar or without with the Zoom bar? So maybe I can take it down. No, with the Zoom bar, but I don't want them to see the Zoom bar.
You can just move that.
No, because what we're doing is mirroring the screen.
Oh, okay, I understand. All right.
Unfortunately.
No, all right. So we had, as I told you, AI tools. So we just sorry. So we just had keywords like Russia, Ukraine, Rothschild, and Jews, and we found a huge increase in the anti-Semite comments and posts online, as you can see. Their theory is that Zelensky is Jewish, and Putin's one of the high-ranked advisors for Putin is also Jewish. So the conspiracy is that Jews are to be blamed because there is Jewish conspiracy to eliminate the Slavic race. Okay, Jews wants that both Slavic countries will fight, and yeah. So that's, and it's very, very popular. English, Russian, Ukraine, Polish, all languages. Of course, also in the immigrants, some immigrants to Europe, and also in the Arab world, we have a lot of anti-Semitic content, also anti-Israel content. By the definitions of IRHA, both anti-Semitic and anti-Israel are anti-Semitic. We do have different statistics that I will show you shortly about how the platforms react to our reports. Holocaust denial, of course, and underestimate. They claim that Anna Frank hasn't been murdered, and justification for the Holocaust, and that's on Twitter just from 2022. While Hitler killed the Jew, the whole world must now guess what these Jewish pigs have caused all over the world. Yeah, these are our statistics. As you can see here on the screen, it's 2022. We have managed to find, as you can see, the most brutal social platform is Twitter. Twitter used to be quite good, actually. and quite responsive. They have changed their hands now. Elon Musk, he took over Twitter. I'm not going into the politics, is it good or bad. I'm just showing you the statistics. So now Twitter is the most violent place to be on the social media. VK, it's the VKontakte, it's the Russian Facebook. They mostly don't use Facebook. Is the second. Facebook is 10%. Gab, which is associated to right wings in the USA, was 6. TikTok, you will see now, it's 1%. TikTok, it's an interesting story. We met them in 2021. We had we saw that TikTok is horrible, and our volunteers started to report to TikTok, and they did nothing about it. They couldn't care less about anti-Semitism and anything. So we had a report every year. We had a report, and we showed us the statistics, which is the better, which is the worst, and they were the worst. And it was in the Israeli newspaper, Israel NGO. It was in Hebrew. So okay, to our audience, we got a very angry email from Dublin, from TikTok's headquarters. They say we'd like to speak to you urgently. Okay. We had a Zoom call. Immediately she started to yell at us. How dare you? Why didn't you contact us before? Where have you been? Okay, shouting. We ended up this conversation as a good friends. And they promised to do lots of progress. She gave us her personal email, and they have developed or increased. They've also changed their policy. I mean, they don't say it, they don't admit it, but you will see the statistics. They have changed their policy, and they have made big progress. So this is the removal of, these are the statistics of the removal of classical anti-Semitism, not anti-Israel hate, but classical anti-Semitism, the Jew with the big nose and everything. TikTok are 100%. Shortly, I will show you 22 in compared to 21. You will see how bad it was. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are the worst now. Unfortunately, only 14% of the content that we have found they have erased. So it's not that they have only 14% content. They have a lot of content. They have erased only 14%. This is the comparison 2022 versus 2021. So Twitter from 23% dropped to 10%. VK has also dropped. So they have also increased their anti-Semite violence. Facebook has done much better. So 35% is being erased. TikTok, here it seems almost equal, and YouTube also got better. We've managed to influence both some of the definitions of hate speech in those social platforms, thanks to, by the way, it's not that we have some platforms we have engaged with, like with TikTok, and some platforms, thanks to our volunteers, we started to be engaged with a lot of comments and a lot of reports that this and that content is anti-Semitic. So they have shifted some of the resources and managed to improve their both removal and their definitions. That's just an example. This is our website. So for everyone, either if he's our volunteer or not volunteer, and he sees something that disturbs him, he can log into our website. It's Fighting Online Antisemitism, or FOA. And on the right upper screen, you have the report button. You put your name, you put the language. Actually, you don't even need to have your name. You can put the social platform that you have find it, the language, what's wrong in this, like very short description. Why do you think it violates the rules? It's anti-Semitic, and the URL link. And this is
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
We will put the link on the chat.
Yeah, great. By the way, are there any questions up until this?
Is LinkedIn. Case in point, I saw a very vile post, a gross distorted history about Israel, equating it to murder, genocide, etc. Usual story. And someone did actually point out that LinkedIn it's not social media, it's meant to be a business networking platform.
Right.
But I have noticed there are a number of fake profiles, they're probably trolls, where all they post is pro-Arab Palestinian propaganda, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel stuff.
Indeed. We have. I was switching. No, you can say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's actually a very good point, and I will also show you, Tomer, because we can tell you that we had a LinkedIn report. We by the way also Spotify. Okay, it's another platform that you don't see here that you couldn't imagine. I mean, Spotify is for music, right? I mean,
Yeah.
What's between Spotify and also LinkedIn, and we found out a lot of anti-Semitic and violating comments and context. And you spoke to them,
Yeah.
right?
So we had a report about LinkedIn, and we found mostly anti-Israeli hate, like you said, Palestinian and terror Arabs, but also some anti-Semitism. Also recently, someone tagged us the word, very anti-Semitic post and comments about it. So we talk with LinkedIn. We have someone to talk with LinkedIn, like a person that we know that we talk with them. And they remove most of the content when it's anti-Semitic. When it's anti-Israeli, they, like other platforms, they do not remove necessarily. But if you have anything specifically, which is pure anti-Semitism, so you can send it to us and we will forward, and it's most likely they will remove that. Because it seems, and as you said, it's easier, or it's better for us to monitor anti-Semitism there, because we can see this guy is a CEO, this guy is a profession, is a doctor. We can see the people that post anti-Semitism. So we can really track them and see that, like behind the their identity. So if you have anything, please send us to, and we can talk with them. We can try to remove that also.
Nice. WhatsApp at this time. There's a lot of really nasty stuff.
Yeah, I think we also have an
So just like a quick explanation of how we work here. You can see here on screen the database. This is what our volunteers see. So we have people have voluntarily computer science students developed for us an AI tool. So this is how it looks. This is the database. You can see here that we have let's say a link, short description. Is it online yet or not? So we have an AI tool that runs and scans all these links like every day. And has it been removed or not? So that's how we have the statistics. Here it's another information that we have from our monitoring volunteers. So we can see that most of the content, 70%, are in English, and then we have in Finnish. What's the 9.6? It's Finnish.
Yeah, I think there is Arabic, the blue one.
The blue one, the
pink
12%
one, yeah.
is Arabic, right?
Yeah, we find, yeah.
And so
And
we
some
find
other
it yes, in various languages. Also, the second pie on the bottom of the screen is the origin of the people. So 61% we couldn't track them. So we spoke to you, and I'd like to speak to you also after this presentation. We have here, so he told us how he managed to track 2 anti-Semitic people here in the UK, and we really need this information because, as I mentioned earlier, and I will show you, we are in contact with the law enforcement now in Germany, but we want to expand this project. And our goal is that not everyone that says something anti-Semite should go to jail, right? So not every person that says, we have some noise here. So not every person that says something should go to prison, but the head of the snack should pay a price and I hope that it will be more than a fine, especially if it's the same player that repeatedly posting anti-Semitic content. Here we can see that we managed to track 13% are from the Middle East, some are from the CIS countries, Africa, and etc. By the way, all this data is published freely and openly in our website, so please feel free to enter it in English. Okay, so few extraordinary cases that we managed to prevent. Our volunteers managed to find a person in a southern state in the USA that he said, yes, that's my rifle, I'm going to kill the Jews. In general, that's what he said. We made contact with the FBI, and we know that he was arrested. We have no idea if he was convicted yet or not, but we think that we managed to prevent this unfortunate event, yes, against Jewish life in the USA. We also managed with volunteers to penetrate into a German WhatsApp group. This is what Lawrence asked before. And we got a lot of, that's the WhatsApp that you can see. It's hundreds of people. These are in various groups. No, I don't have it here. It's various groups, all right? And they so they thought that they are under, let's say, under the radar because it's WhatsApp and it's only friends of friends, so they can trust, and somehow we managed to penetrate it. The advantage is that first it's in German, second we can track those people because we have a cell phone number, an ID, a credit card, so we can track those people. And lucky for us, it's that it's in Germany, which is strictly forbidden and any kind of this activity. So, for example, if it would have been in the USA, they have a very broad freedom of speech. All right, so maybe some of this content would have been under freedom of speech. In Germany, they don't have freedom of speech.
To display Nazi.
Yes, it's illegal to display and also to speak like this and to spread anti-Semitism. So we have took all this WhatsApp, and through a content guide that we have in Germany, we handled over to the Bavarian state representatives for anti-Semitics. They have like each state has this guy that is in charge of handling and taking care of anti-Semitism. He sits in Munich. Of course, they claim that they are under budget and they don't have enough people, but we are on it, and we would like to see them not doing anything with these evidence. These are actually legal evidence in the criminal perspective. We have another team. So I'd like to say that, okay, so we educate people, okay, we complain to the social platforms, but we do much more. We, as you saw, we take those evidence to the law enforcement. And now we would like to expand. We have a small team of volunteers in Arabic. They managed to penetrate into WhatsApp and Telegram groups in Arabic that show you that teach the Palestinians how to have explosive homemade bombs and how to stab Israeli soldiers. We managed to have sort of a connection with the Israeli security agencies, and we have forwarded this content to them. It's also, we are lucky because that's on the Telegram. It's not easy to find out, but also we have WhatsApp groups, and the WhatsApp group it is much more easy because, as I mentioned, we have their cell phone numbers. What can we do, and what can you do to help us to have a better world? So at the moment, and with your support, we can do even better. At the moment, we are operating with about 50 volunteers worldwide. This operation costs money. We are mostly on volunteers, as we don't have lots of people that are workers of this NGO. But every donation, of course, can help us. Location, Israel takes it more seriously than any other country. So I think that's one of the advantages that we are located in Israel. Overcoming the language barrier, the more languages we speak, the more content that we can monitor and remove. The social media platforms are country specific, so one can see the algorithm track you, and they show you different content than you will see in a different countries. So it's more, as we are spread worldwide, the more content that we can identify and erase. We can't rely only on AI. We also try to rely on AI. We have some support AI tools, but why we can't rely on it? Do you all know the Let's Go Brandon? Very shortly, NASCAR car race. It's the USA Formula car race. They have almost 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, there was a driver called Brandon. He won the NASCAR race. He was live interviewed. I think it was SNBC so she asked him, how do you feel about winning this race? And all the audience in the background shouted, F word Joe Biden. F word Joe Biden. And so she said, oh, everyone here says, let's go Brandon. Now, obviously, this is not what they were shouting. So a lot of people in the USA, mostly from the Republican Party, said, okay, this proves that the US media is biased, they are against us, they shut our mouth. And that became their slogan, let's go Brandon. They have t-shirts that you can buy in Amazon. And what even I think the most famous incident was that during Christmas live interview with the president, viewers can call and speak with the president, and they say, thank you very much, Mr. President, and have a Merry Christmas. And one guy, apparently sort of a troll, called the president, thank you. And then when they finished, he said, thank you, Mr. President, and let's go, Brandon. And Joe Biden said, yeah, let's go, Brandon. I'm not sure if you realize what it means. So that's let's go, Brandon. Now, AI, it will take an AI very long to realize that let's go, Brandon it's a code, okay? It's a code. It means that we are in the right. It means that our mouth are being shut, that we are against maybe the US president, and not like against in the illegal way, but we don't support Joe Biden. So the same thing, most of the anti-Semites, they realize that if they will write like F-word Jews, we will, I mean, even without us, Facebook will automatically realize and erase this post. So they don't write Jews or F-word, they write kites or other words, or Jews like having a orange juice, J-U. So they disguise themselves. An AI tool takes a lot of time to realize that they don't mean orange juice, but us, the Jews. And lastly, well, if not for ourselves, we think that no one will do the dirty job for us. Okay, I mean, we saw that even the German law enforcement, that they have a budget and they have 10 people only in Munich that should be dealing with this. They claim, oh, yes, we have so much work to do. We don't have enough manpower. Now we brought them, not just the post, we gave them the phone numbers. They can easily track the people that own those phone numbers. So yeah, they might not be. It's probably not too important for them. So I think we should do the job for ourselves. That's our budget. So we got Google's grant. It's Google and Twitter combined. That's what we have got for 2022. We got some more educational. We have some educational programs both in Israel and outside of Israel, so that gain us $40,000 US. So our annual budget is 150 UK pound. British pound. So as I told you, we are a slim organization. We hope we're doing a good job, but we're not like, fancy office and fancy people and CEOs and stuff. What we are planning to do, we are planning to have fundraising, and with every money that we have, we are planning to expand our monitoring program. We hope to increase it at least by 50%. We hope to increase the impact of what we find. We hope to improve the efficiency, because, for example, we ask for minimum of 2 hours a week from our volunteers. Now, 2 hours a week, it's not a lot, it's not too much, it's not too little, but when they have like 2 hours, we don't want them to waste time on the legal, on the positive stuff. We want them to find really the bad stuff. So we need to improve our AI tools and to raise awareness to this issue. So together with you, we can make a difference. And thank you again for having us, and for you to come here and join us either physically and on the Zoom. And I'd like to hear your questions.
Anyone want a question online? If you want to raise